Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Jamie Dawn, your professional psychic advisor, success coach, evolutionary revolutionary. And today is Sunday, December 8th, 2019. And we are sitting right at the beginning of a full moon week. We have the full moon on December 11th into the 12th, depending on where we live in the world, and it is in the sign of Gemini. And so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk a little bit about how Jupiter, now in Capricorn, which we talked about last week, is moving closer and closer to the South Node in Capricorn. So we're going to be expanding some of our past, some of the things that we do really unconsciously, we do naturally. It may be a wonderful opportunity to tap into some of these gifts that we have and expand upon them so that we can find some good success long term. Remember, Capricorn energy is this long, slow, determined achiever. And so we're going to be really looking at that. But before we're able to get to these achievements, we also have to release. That's what these full moons every month give us an opportunity to do. And with the full moon in Gemini, we're going to be releasing our thoughts, our prayers, our stories, our narratives, the things, our wishes. Anything that our mind, our thoughts are communicating, we get to release them out into the universe to bring back to us this, hopefully, wishes fulfilled. And we're going to be challenged this week with keeping our faith. We've got the sun in Sagittarius, and it is inviting us to find purpose and meaning through our belief systems, through the faith that we hold. And what is faith? Faith, as it has been described, is believing in the unseen and having this deep knowing inside of ourselves. And that's where the clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance comes in to support and to participate with us in uncovering those areas in our lives where we can't really say concretely, this is what has happened or this is what will happen, but we can say, I believe that this is what's coming. I can feel it in my bones, you know? And I think that's the other thing with all this Capricorn energy is we're working with our bones, our structures, because we've got Venus also in Capricorn moving closer to Saturn. This week, they will be canoodling. And when Venus and Saturn start to canoodle, there's an opportunity for us to look at our values and our sense of purpose and our finances and the things that in our relationships, of course, and bringing in some beautiful stability, some long range, long term structure. And so we may be looking at the areas in our lives that we're trying to attract that help bring more structure into the long term goals that we have. And with this full moon in Gemini, we may be releasing our prayers and saying, this is I'm letting go of the old thought processes, those old narratives or even the affirmations, or maybe it's the negative criticism that we would tell ourselves constantly. And we're releasing all of that and saying, now let's start fresh because we've got this beautiful new moon eclipse. It's an annular solar eclipse that's happening at the end of the month, right at Christmas time. And so, and of course, this doesn't negate anybody who doesn't observe Christmas. It just allows us to deepen our awareness around the faith that all different religions, all different mindsets, all different belief systems, whether you're an atheist or not, doesn't matter. There's a belief of we don't have to know that electricity, how it works in order to know that it works. And so that's what we're working with this week, is really firming up those beliefs in our relationships, our beliefs in our value system, and that they are going to pay off. And that as we continue to put more concrete structure and more, more like we become more solidified in our values, then we start to take action because our mindset can start to drive our behaviors, and our behaviors create our habits. And so we're going to be looking also as Venus canoodles, after it canoodles with Saturn, it will canoodle with Pluto on Friday, where there's this opportunity to transform, to truly be transformed right after this full moon in Gemini, because we've released the past, we're ready to build these new structures, and now we get to emerge more powerful, more secure, more assured that the habits that we have done naturally with Jupiter moving closer to the south node, that the habits we've done so naturally and easily can continue to support us as we continue to create the reality that we want so much to experience and to have and to embody. Remember that Mars is still in Scorpio, where it's exalted, where it's dignified, it's at home there. And so it is trining, it's in great harmony with Neptune in Pisces this week. And as this beautiful trine happens, Mars is the seeker of truth. It wants to get to the deeper meaning, what's really going on underneath the surface, and it can break through the uh, what am I looking for? It breaks through the rose-colored glasses. It breaks through the illusions and the deception that can often be associated with Neptune. And Neptune and Pisces can be very dreamy and imaginative and create and paint this beautiful picture, where here comes Mars that says, let's get a dose of reality going on in here. And it can happen really naturally and easily. The other planet, and it moves so fast through our zodiac anyways, except when it's retrograde, is Mercury. And I didn't touch on that for at the beginning, but Mercury will have moved into Sagittarius on Monday this week, so tomorrow. And with Mercury in Sagittarius, we're going to be telling a lot of truths. We also may be on this quest to find truth and to not just find it, but experience it. So our conversations may involve, hey, how can I experience uh, relationship, or how can I experience my value system? Let me talk about it. Let me do something that encourages conversation and connection with others of like mind. We're going to be looking for those who also enjoy expanding the mind and opening that mind into other belief systems. The thing I love too about this week is that we have the opportunity, if we're willing to keep our mind open, that we can also meet new people, we can meet experiences and opportunities that maybe weren't there before. I mentioned this thing of faith again, and I'm not talking about religiosity when I talk about faith. When I talk about faith, we all have a belief system of some sort. And so, those of you who may be discouraged that something isn't happening as quickly as you want it to, or you think it may never happen because the evidence that is in front of us, the reality, this physical form in front of us, suddenly, it doesn't represent what you feel inside of you, and that's that faith or that belief system, so it can be shaken. We have a tendency to start questioning our sanity even during these times. But the beauty of this week is that there's a lot of supportive energy that can say, hey, the reality isn't what you perceive it to be. The reality can shift, it can change, it can be transformed through our thoughts, through our responses to it, through the way that we approach it. And so we may decide that we're going to have some conversation, connection, physical experiences with other people and different interactions with nature itself, so that we can build upon the faith and the hope and the joy and the peace that we are trying so hard to embody. The other thing that I love about the Sagittarian energy is that we may find new ways of learning. And in that learning, we may be asked to teach. And as I was telling somebody just the other day, a beautiful reminder is that we often cannot teach something until we've learned it ourselves. So if we're having this experience that we want to speak truth, or we want to feel what truth is like, then we're going to experience possibly what deception may feel like, or what we may be deceived. And then how do we respond to it? How do we approach it? Or maybe in the past, because we're working with this Jupiter and canoodling with the South Node and this releasing of the old thought processes that we've held on to for so long with this Gemini full moon, that maybe this week can offer us an opportunity to let go of those old things that we kept telling ourselves or somebody else even, and I would venture to say that a few of you may experience somebody from the past returning and saying, I know that I had made this vow, or I know I had said this before, but I've changed my mind. And I've realized I'm not the same person that I was then. It's not who I am now. And I want to meet you in a new way. I wouldn't be surprised if a few of you have those kind of encounters and conversations. So, of course, you know how much I love to support you, to hear what's going on in your life. Hopefully, you know how to connect with me. If not, it's Jamie at jamiedon.com, 112listen.com. And I am just so thrilled to be able to offer these videos for you. I hope they help, and I'm certainly encouraged by your feedback. And I just want to make a small note as well around this holiday season that it can either be extremely joyous for many people or it can be a very lonely and difficult time. And I just want to remind you that please know and trust that you're not alone and that if you need help, please reach out to somebody that you trust and feel safe with. And if you're not sure and you maybe don't have that person in your life, then I would encourage you to find a group of like-hearted people, not just like-minded. That may be your first entry in, but really seeking out those who carry the same vibration of the heart, which is love, compassion, openness, inclusion. All right, you guys, I hope that you have a great week. I look forward to continuing to connect with you. And thank you so much for this beautiful interaction and time with you. Have a great week, everybody, and happy full moon in Gemini.